Hey, Radical fans. Today's topic is the evolution of layouts. If you think about where bowling was and where it has gone today, in layouts alone, you can write a book. It's just amazing. Years ago, how many people have heard this? If you're left-handed, put the pin at 11 o'clock. If you're right-handed, put the pin at 2 o'clock. That's all we knew. Then we started with, well, let's do leverage weight. You know, where the pin was 3 3/4 from your positive access point. Oh, wait, we have another word, positive access point. No one thought about that in the beginning, and then it evolved into positive access points. You got the positive access point, you put the pin 3 3/4 from the positive, or 3 3/8 from the positive access point. You put the CG 3 3/8 from the positive access point, and you put a weight hole on your access point, and that was leverage weight. Okay, that was just simple. We didn't know the dynamics, we knew it changed something. It put the core in a stronger position. Now we have things like tilt, the bowler's tilt, the bowler's axis rotation, this is access point, on and on and on. All of this is the evolution of the layout. We can move the ball's break point 3, 4, 5, 6 feet down a lane simply by a layout. Pin distance, pin to pap distance. How does that impact the bowler, the ball motion? Mass bias gave us another whole dimension. You know, before we had the mass bias, all we had was pin and CG. And the CG doesn't matter, no matter what anybody said, and it still doesn't matter. But years ago, all we had was 2 points to look at. Now you add the mass bias in there. Where do we put that relative to the bowler's access point? So the evolution is astronomical, and the tweaking of it can drive you crazy. Getting to the point we're making here is sometimes not everything is good for everybody. So you need to figure out the type of bowler you are, what you're bowling on, and think about the drill patterns that work best for you and stay close to them. There was two schools of thought. One is drill different balls the same way, and another one is drill the same ball different ways. Both work. We did a podcast on that. It's just a matter of your preference. But the evolution and the way weight removed from a core dictates ball motion now. At Radical, we do a drill sheet that tells you the after drilling numbers so that you're not guessing how much did my differential change, how much did the intermediate diff change. These are all things you have to look at. All of this now comes into play as opposed to the old days where you went to a pro shop and the guy said, I'm going to put the pin at 2 o'clock. And let me tell you a quick story. There were several people years ago that came at bowlers that would say, my ball doesn't work for me, but when he throws it, it strikes like crazy. Well, the key ingredient there was the PAP. How far was your PAP from the pin, and how far was your buddy that threw it and struck like crazy with it? We didn't know all of those things. Now all of that comes into play. So the evolution of the layout is beyond recognition from what it was in the beginning. That's today's Radical Rundown. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week.